Pop Culture Pastor.
So, Cain, I was thinking, when you moved here from New Zealand, it's amazing how it works when you have an accent around the place where you're not from, because I don't know how people respond to accents in other places outside of America, because this is the only place I've ever lived, but it immediately lends you credibility.
Right.
Like, people listen to you.
Yeah. It is pretty funny.
I could have the voice of Orson Welles and have the wisdom of 1,000 humans, and people would still be like, I don't really need to listen to this guy.
Yeah.
He sounds goofy.
Where are you from? You're from Kansas. Yeah, we don't need to listen to you.
This dude definitely is from Kansas. I can tell by the way he talks, and I don't need to listen to him. Meanwhile, Cain comes in all soft-spoken. He's like, oh, hello. And everyone's like, go on.
Yeah.
We're here. Anyways.
What words of wisdom do you have to share with us today?
In my younger days, I knew these two girls from Ireland who were in the country they were in nursing school. Mm-hmm. And guys just went gaga over them. Mm. And I don't mean this in a bad way, but they were very plain, people. There was nothing outstanding, they were beautiful people, of course, I would think that. But you know what I mean? Like, people just went gaga over them. And we had this theory that it was all the accent.
Yeah.
They just were fascinated with it.
Yeah. It is a common place where people just want to keep us talking just so they can, purely for the reason, just to listen to our accent. And that aspect is kind of bizarre for us.
Yeah, why is that so satisfying? It is. It's really satisfying. Do Americans go other places and is it the opposite?
No.
There
really isn't.
We're like dumb cowboys. Everybody, the whole world thinks we're dumb rednecks. Like, oh, it's Americans.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This just reminded me of a story. So I have relatives that live in England.
Yep.
I call them my English relatives. They're more like they're my mother's cousins, so I guess that makes them second cousins to me. And they came here once to visit us, and we were I think there was golf on the television. They like weird sports, the Brits. But also they love the NFL and the Chiefs, which is another weird story. So different sections of England got different NFL teams that was kind of their team. So it was very,
okay.
Yeah. So what they saw was very location based in England. And so they grew up, they just happened to live in the part of the country that got Chiefs games. Oh. And so they love the Chiefs, which that was kind of cool. But other than that, they like weird sports, and golf was on the television one day while they were here visiting. And my second cousin says, the American Gophers always win. And, none of us were really, kind of aware. The TV was just on, and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, what is he talking about? Gophers? What do you, and I finally just said, I'm like, what do you mean, man? Gophers? What do they win at? They're just little, animals. And he's like, oh, sorry. I meant golfers. And he said it in this really exaggerated over, so much contempt for the American accent. I was really insulted. I was like, oh. He's like, you Americans and your golf. I was like, why is that? We truly love everyone's accent. Meanwhile, everyone thinks we're stupid. It's a weird thing.
It is really super interesting. People's perceptions of where you're from.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We're smart here just because we're Kansans. I mean, I understand why you'd think that. Not everyone's smart here, but... So, Cain, you have a story about accents.
Yeah. We went to this church, not here in Kansas, but we went to a church recently after we'd moved here, or while we were visiting here, actually. Sorry. And one of our daughters went into the kids' church program there, and they were telling us this story of how all of the other kids they loved their accents so much that they ended up cornering one of them. And I conjure up these visions of this zombie movie of the horde closing in on the corner, and there's no way out, and all these other kids saying, "Oh, say this, say this in your accent. Oh, we love your accent," and totally harmless, but it's kind of you conjure up this image of cowering in a corner as the masses kind of close in, all to do with the accent.
Yeah, it's so weird how we react to it, and we seem to be alone in that way.
Yeah,
It's like we're not very worldly, I guess, Americans, or we're just so. Well, this isn't a secret. We tend to be so, tunnel visioned. Like we think we're the only thing that exists on the earth sometimes.
Yeah.
And so then we're kind of fascinated with it. I mean, some people have made careers out of, like, look at Mike Myers. I have this theory that the Austin Powers movies are just him doing different accents, and we find that hilarious.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
So yeah, like he's British, and then he plays all these different characters, like a Scottish henchman, and even in the third Austin Powers movie, the bad guy is Dutch, and it's Mike Myers, and he's just like, "Yeah, I'm Dutch. Isn't that weird?"
Yeah.
and it's stinking hilarious to us. I don't get it. The rest of the world's probably like, those movies are trash. Why do they like these? We've been talking about accents. Because Cain has an accent to us.
Yeah, if you haven't heard, if you haven't noticed, and you need informing, I have an accent.
Where you're from, it's not anything. It's just, that's how we talk.
Yeah, I do have to say though, when I hear the New Zealand accent played back, I cringe. Like it is so cringeworthy.
Really?
For a New Zealander to hear a New Zealand accent, especially after being around Americans so long. Like you go back into New Zealand and the voice comes over the intercom. It's like, "Welcome to New Zealand." It's like, oh, it sounds terrible. But I totally get the appreciation that Americans have for accents. When we were touring with a band, there's this one time where I was just there was a fan. She came up and she wanted to talk and things, and my sassy side, we call it cheeky, being cheeky, where
right,
you kind of like just messing with someone,
Yeah.
And my cheeky side came out, and she said, "Oh, so are you really from New Zealand?" I said, yeah, I am from New Zealand. No, I'm actually from Ohio. And just her face, she's like, wait, what? And I said, no, I'm from New Zealand. No, actually, I'm from Ohio. No, I'm from New Zealand. And you could just see her brain, like, just not computing. It was just about ready to explode. It was so funny.
Now, I don't know if the people listening really got what you just did there. Okay. So say a fuller sentence or two in your American accent.
my terrible American.
Tell me that you're going to Taco Bell to get a bean burrito.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go to Taco Bell and get a bean burrito.
That was amazing. You sounded just like an American. I'm sold. Yeah. I'm sold. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. I don't know why we appreciate accents so much, but we do. I changed my Siri voice to an Australian voice.
Oh, yep, nice.
So like when it's telling me, when I have it plugged into my car and it's telling me where to go, it's like, turn left into the car park.
The car park. The car park. Because we don't call it a parking lot. It's called a car park.
A car park. Yeah.
And that's how I get people to imitate the New Zealand accent is actually with a phrase. I'm going to park the car in the car park.
It's amazing. Even that was just like, oh, soothing. I'm going to go take a nap. Yeah. So there was a movie I saw when I was a kid that really scared me. I don't know what it was back in the 80s. But the 80s are kind of defined by kids watching movies they probably shouldn't have been allowed to watch at a young age, especially scary movies. I don't know why in the 80s we were just so like, oh, everyone deserves to be scared.
Like the Babysitter's Club.
Yes, frightening. Absolutely frightening. No, so I remember seeing Jaws when I was pretty young. Which, in hindsight, I'm sure my mother regretted because, like, I'm pretty sure I didn't take a bath this is when I was very little. I'm pretty sure I didn't take a bath for weeks. And about the time my mom forced me in it, I'm pretty sure I was violent physically. Like, get me out of here. I was sure there was a shark in that bathtub. I didn't even like swimming for a long time.
Still doesn't.
Well, yeah. I mean, I could do without swimming. It's not the end all be all for me. I know it is for a lot of people, but so when I think about like how much Jaws scared me, and I'm looking through news items, this one in particular is no. This one says to me like, "Yep, not swimming in the ocean." Apparently, there's a 12-foot, 4-inch long great white shark who's kind of hanging out off the coast of South Carolina. And it weighs nearly 1 ton. It's almost 1,200 pounds. And the reason they know this one is particular was around New Jersey last year because they tagged it, like they do, researchers. And so there's just this 1 ton great white shark just hanging out there. And I'm like, nope, not getting into any bodies of water.
I'm getting in all the bodies of water.
I just don't. And lakes are worse.
Oh, lakes are so much worse.
Because you can't see anything. And I'm like, how do I know there's not a Loch Ness great white shark in here?
Okay, so I'm not concerned about the animals. I'm more concerned about like the size of the lake and or pond. Because if water doesn't move enough, it grows like amoebas and stuff. And like if it goes into your brain.
You're afraid of the flesh-eating viruses.
Well, there's one that like attacks your brain and kills you.
Yeah. And you got to snort it up your nose, though, on accident. But it can happen.
It can definitely happen. And it's like,
yeah, well, yeah, I guess that's my point is I'm kind of scared of, all right, I'm just going to say it. Hi, I'm Dave, and I'm frightened of swimming, and especially in lakes in around here. Because of that, what you just mentioned, also, I can't see that there's not a monster in it.
Yeah. And then, what's his name? Jason. That's how he met his demise. Another scary movie you should not have watched as a kid.
We could just interview Jason on the program. Like, yes, you just stay away from those lakes. They're very dangerous. And I should know.
And then they become cursed.
So the shark, the researchers, they tagged this shark. It was hanging out around New Jersey last year, which I believe is where Jaws takes place, right?
It does take place in New Jersey.
Yeah. So that's kind of, eerie, right?
And loosely based on a real life story.
Is it really? Oh, thanks. I'm now definitely never getting in the water.
There was like a summer in the 40s where there was like 2 or 3 like shark deaths in New Jersey.
No way. Ooh, that's super scary.
Not really based on a story, but based on like the concept of this happened.
So the article I'm looking at, it has a little video and it shows like the researcher swimming with the shark and it's like patting it on the back. And it's like, 4 times the size of this human being, which is ridiculous. Like, what are you doing? I don't understand these people. Yeah, I will not go in the water. And this person is like looking for the shark to swim with it and hold on to its dorsal fin. I picked up my cat yesterday and it bit me on the knuckle. Like, you got a lot of trust.
Part of that, I think, is the type of people that do that are Steve Irwin-esque.
Yeah.
They just really love nature, the beauty of animals. And they know if you're calm, most likely the creature you're with will be more calm as well.
Most likely. But you can't predict it because it's an animal.
Yes.
Steve Irwin's a great example. Steve Irwin's also a great example of how we overuse the word tragedy. Mm-hmm. Because, look, I'll preface this with saying no disrespect. I love Steve Irwin. I loved watching him.
Are we going to be throwing hands after this?
We're not going to be throwing hands. But Steve Irwin's death was not a tragedy. Tragedy would say that that's unexpected.
It was unexpected.
It was not unexpected. He made a living hanging around dangerous animals.
I mean, I'm going to go down a rabbit hole that I probably shouldn't.
Come with me. I'm just saying, like, our English, our vocabulary is bad. If you want to say it's sad, then yes, it's sad.
Princess Diana got in a car every day of her life.
Okay. But that one qualifies for tragic because it was humans doing something stupid that caused it. The stupid thing being, we definitely need pictures of these celebrities.
I'm just saying, and for probably the previous 15 to 20 years of her life, the paparazzi had been out and about.
Yeah, they're crazy. Paparazzis. I don't understand that at all. Who's paying for these pictures? Who wants to see that? Oh man, yeah, I just got to see those new pictures of Ben Affleck and J-Lo. I got to. It's so important to me. Like who's paying? Why do these people get paid? Who's clamoring for that? It's everything's supply and demand. I know that. So where's the demand? Who's like, I just got to have pictures of Meghan Markle.
Evidently, you have not been to the checkout lines and perused the National Enquirer.
Okay, I have seen the National Enquirer. I'm just like, is anyone buying those? Because I've never seen anyone buy those.
I have not bought one, but I have definitely read through one while waiting in a long line.
Absolutely. But I've never seen anyone give any money actually. Basically what I'm saying is, and we started talking about sharks and now we're on the National Enquirer. It's like, I need to know does anyone out there know anybody that's like subscribed to the National Enquirer? Do they do subscriptions? Surely they do.
I think that you just have to go to your local grocery store or Walmart and purchase it.
Anyways, this shark, according to the research data, says it swam 15,000 miles in the last year. That's more steps than I took in the last year, I'm pretty sure.
Oof to both.
So I don't know what that has to do with the Enquirer or whatever. Sometimes we talk about things.
We do.